I'll start right now, first by putting the link to our hackathon. Links. So this is the main link that has everything we need today. And I'm going to also post it here. Okay, so I don't know if you took part in any of our courses before, or if you took part in the course LLM Zoom Camp 2024. So if you did, you might know that we try to often have some extra activity in addition to the course. And last year we hosted a Kaggle competition. So in that competition, the goal was, maybe I can actually find this if you're interested. You can check it out because I think it was a great competition. Yeah, so here, 2024 competition. So the goal was to solve high school mathematical problems. It was quite fun. We had some starter notebook submitted by people from the community. Yeah, so this was quite fun, and this year we wanted to make something similar. Timur and I were discussing it. Timur is one of the instructors. He's also a teaching assistant for some of our courses, and Timur will also be in the jury for this hackathon. So Timur and I were thinking about this, and one of the ideas we had. Oh, Timur, hi! I see you in the live chat. And one of the ideas we had was to make a similar competition, do a similar competition we did last year, but with code instead of mathematical problems. And this is a great idea. I still want to do it at some point. The problem with that was we couldn't figure out where to run this. So we would need to have like a proper sandbox environment and or how to evaluate it. We needed like a lot of tasks from platforms like Codeforces. And this is one of these. So Codeforces is one of these platforms where you can do coding competitions, and then how to get test cases. Yeah, we still didn't solve this. We didn't figure this out. But then we thought that it, like, we don't have to restrict to a particular problem. It would be good if we just run a hackathon where people could work on whatever they want. And by the way, things I just described, like running a coding competition, could be also one of the hackathon projects. So for this hackathon project, let me just go back to this page. So this is what I shared with you. So this hackathon project, the idea is to use LLMs to build something useful for the community. That's the main idea. As many of you are doing the LLM course right now, or did this last year, or taking an active part in our community. So we want to make something interesting this summer, want to build something fun. And this is how this idea for a hackathon appeared. So yeah, the main idea is to build something useful for the community and apply things you learned in the courses or elsewhere and put them in your skills into practice. Yeah, well, it basically describes everything you need to do. And then we also asked you to use this form, just in case I will share, in case somebody wants to submit an idea. Submit an idea. And if you're watching this in recording, you see links appear here. So we asked you to submit your idea. And this is what I want to discuss on this channel, on this stream right now. So here, I don't know if I need to spend time on this, because you can just go through this yourself. The main idea, we hack something together during the summer, and then in September, we look at the results, at what you built, and then, yes, winners, everyone will get some experience. But also we have some AWS credits that we can share to the top teams. And yeah, let's, what we can do right now is we can review the project ideas you submitted using this link. And the plan is I just go through the submissions and I give some ideas, I give some feedback if this is an interesting project or not. And another thing, yeah, we have this Slido link. If you have any questions, let me just share the link with you. So this is the link for asking questions. I'm going to pin this link so it's always on top. So this is something you can use throughout the entire stream to ask questions. So now let us review your ideas. I have it somewhere here. Yeah. So I only have names here, so I hit the emails. Okay, so let's see. So the first project we have, it starts with 4 because the first 3 projects were kind of, I think it was just empty rows in Airtable. I removed them. So it starts with 4. So the idea that I'm sorry if I mispronounce your name, submitted project Skill Share Connect, AI-powered community skill exchange platform, create a platform where people in local communities can teach and learn practical skills from each other, powered by AI matchmaking and smart scheduling. This looks quite interesting, and I think this could be quite useful for the community. It's not really LLM related from what I see, but I think it's still a fun project, and yeah, it's something you can definitely do. I don't think you'll be able to. Probably there is a way you can use LLMs for this. Like if you list just profiles in text, probably LLMs can figure these things out, but it looks like more a software engineering project with a bit of machine learning more than a AI/LLM project. Still, it sounds fun. I see a question from Teshali. Teshali, I hope I pronounce your name correctly. We just came across the hackathon. Can we still submit ideas? Yes, you can. Right now on this stream, what we do is I go through the ideas you submitted and I give feedback whether this idea is actually interesting to do in the hackathon or maybe there is something else you could do. Yeah, so far we're not forming any teams. This is something we will do in the following weeks. I will talk about this later. You just submit your once we discuss the projects, of course, you're free to come up with more ideas. Maybe right now I will also show you where you can do this. So here, this is our Slack. In our Slack, we have a hackathon channel. So this is the channel. And you can submit your profile here. And also here in this channel, you can submit project ideas and ask for feedback. Right now, you submitted already some project ideas. I want to give feedback on these ideas, but after this session, you can still do this. And let me check if we actually have a deadline for team formation. Yeah, well, we don't. So probably we should come up with some number, which is like a week or 2 from now, by which you need to form teams. But let's say if you actually see nothing wrong with starting in August, let's say if somebody comes across this hackathon later, but they still want to join and do, I see nothing wrong with just building a team and continuing. So I think right now we will, after this stream, we'll have other regular streams. But for now, you can just, if you have any questions or if you want to discuss ideas, if you want to find teammates, this is the channel you use, the Hackathon channel in Slack. And the link to this channel is, well, it's not linked. I should probably link it, make it clickable, but I showed you how you find it. So add channel, Hackathon. I will also write this in the announcements. I cannot post. I need to do this from the main account. Okay, so where did we stop? we were talking about your idea. So we talked about this idea. So this is an interesting idea. I don't think it's LLM related. It's more like just software engineering with a bit of machine learning. Still a nice idea. Okay, Zotero LLM integration project provides a simple yet powerful integration between Zotero, reference bibliography management database, and LLM to enhance the research workflow. Okay, let me pick it up. Yeah, I was checking it already. Your personal research assistant, Zotero is a free, easy-to-use tool to help you collect, organize, annotate, cite, and share research. So this looks okay, but maybe not for this hackathon. So in this hackathon, the main idea is to make something useful for the community. Let me see if we have. So yeah, there is potential ideas that you can do. Evaluation criteria. So one of the criteria is impact, community value, and yeah. So the main idea here is that it should be useful for the community. So if it's not useful for the community, you will not score a lot on this criterion. Right. So I would say that this is an interesting project, but maybe not for this hackathon. But still, if you want to build this project anyways, and you want to have this team spirit, and you want to do it during the summer, by all means, go for it. You can still submit it. Just be aware that you will not be able to satisfy some of the criteria, in particular community value here. Because yeah, it looks like a personal project, which is not like nothing wrong with this, but I wouldn't say it's super useful for the community, for the DataTalks.Club community. An agent that analyzes conversation patterns and adapts its responses based on learned context. I have no idea what you mean here. Like it needs to be something more specific because right now it's super generic, and also I don't understand what is this. So yeah, maybe elaborate it a little more, and we can talk about it in the Hackathon channel. Capstone project recommendation. The idea is to provide new currently enrolled students with a system to ask the LLM for project ideas to build in their capstone projects. The LLM would be provided with data from previous cohorts of ZoomCamp projects, allowing it to use them for reference and inspiration. This is an awesome idea. So this is really great. And one of the biggest problems the students, the participants of our courses have is getting started with the project, selecting the data set, selecting the problem. And I think this would really simplify, will make their job, their life easier. Like when they need to select, if there is a tool like that, they can just talk to it and then quickly figure out what kind of project they can do. So maybe this tool can ask about their interests and then suggest a database to use, or I don't suggest, give an idea, and then they can just find a data source themselves. And I think modern LLMs like ChatGPT, they can probably they already know about some data sets. I think this is a really cool idea. So this is definitely worth implementing. I see that it will be very useful for the students, for the future ZoomCamp students. Imagine a web app that transforms the passive act of listening to a podcast into an interactive experience. As you listen, you can pause at any moment and ask questions directly to AI hosts or AI guests. Powered by large language models, trained to emulate real personalities of your favorite podcast creators. Kind of cool. So we want to do something with our podcast. So we have a lot of podcast materials here. There is a lot of useful stuff. So if we can do something with these things, make use of these materials, that would be really useful. On the other hand, this looks more like capstone project idea for the course rather than like of course it could be a standalone thing, but to me it looks like a RAG thing on top of some transcripts, which is would be a perfect example for a project for LLM Zoom Camp. Yeah. So I would say it's maybe relatively small, because maybe I don't see something, but to me it seems like it's just a RAG on top of transcripts, which is exactly what you can do, which is exactly the idea behind the projects in for LLM Zoom Camp. Now, maybe I don't understand something, but we can, of course, discuss it in more detail. Okay. This project involves two interconnected tools designed to enhance productivity and organization. The first tool is a robotic chat agent that helps user manage appointments, make arrangements, and handle location-based tasks. It uses NLP to understand user requests, integrates with GPS and maps for route optimization, syncs with calendars and schedules, and okay, cool, but like I don't think it has anything to do with the community. Again, as I said for the other thing, like if you're really how to say adamant about implementing this particular project this summer, you don't want to work on something else and you need team spirit, then by all means you can work on this, but it will not be able to get achieve some of the like let's say high score on some of the criteria. The second tool is an AI-powered note maker that processes PDF files. Again, so this is not something super relevant for the community, although we can turn it into something that is that would be more useful. So we have a lot of videos on our channel, especially when it comes to courses. Let's say LLM Zoom Camp, and then we have this module number 1 intro, and then we have notes here. So different people submitted their notes. It would be cool to be able to automate this process. So let's say there is a video, and from that video we create like detailed notes where let's see what we have here, like with screenshots, with description. So for people who don't who prefer reading rather than watching videos, for them they can just open this document and read. So if we can build something like that, that would be awesome. This would be really useful for the community, and also is similar to what you described here to some extent, because you would need to extract also, not just get a transcript of the video and make it how to say, turn it into notes. That's one thing. This should be more or less straightforward, but the tricky part would be extracting frames from the video and understanding which frames could be used for illustrations in the notes, or I don't know, getting code from there, or understanding that you need to take the code from somewhere. So this could be interesting. Summarize and organize content into clean, concise notes. Yeah, so this would be quite useful for the community if you do this for, let's say, for videos, other course videos, or we have a lot of other videos on our channel. So, for example, I don't know, we had a podcast conversation today with Lior. If you take this and turn this into an article with some illustrations, it would be cool. Even though it's just a conversation, there were no slides. If somehow it's possible to generate illustrations, that would be awesome. Or we have, so for example, this workshop that I hosted a couple of days ago. So for example, you take the Jupyter notebook from here that I also published. You take this video and then it creates an article. Well, here it's a part of the course, but let's say there is something that is not a part of the course. So for example, these open source spotlight videos, or for example, this one, how to write data pipelines with Apache Airflow, it wasn't a part of the course. Yeah, so that would be quite nice. Okay, next one. Is it the same? I think this is the same. Yeah, just skipping it. Build a chatbot that can answer about school for international students at MFU. That would be a perfect project for your capstone, for a capstone project for LLM Zoom Camp, because you can get some knowledge base. There is probably an FAQ document or some document with questions. You just index it like we do with RAG, and you do RAG. So you index it with some search engine, and you do RAG on top of that. And that would be a good capstone project. For a hackathon project, yeah, I don't think that would be sufficient. LLM-powered project evaluator. Paste your repo and get a first pass assessment based on the course evaluation criteria. This is awesome. This is a really good idea. So we have in all the other courses, we need to, at the end, you need to submit to work on a capstone project, and then we have a list of criteria. And let me just show you courses. So let's say I'll take the data engineering course. So we have projects. I'll show you first the criteria. So we have a list of criteria that look like that. So problem description, cloud, data integration, and for each of the criteria, you can get certain amount of points, right? And what do you do as a part of peer reviewing? You get a project and you go through this project and see, okay, like, is it reproducible? You see that it is, you give 4 points, right? If it's not reproducible, but some instructions are there, you give 2 points. So to me, it seems like it's something that LLM should be able to do, right? That's why I think this is a perfect, this would be a really good project for this hackathon. You submit something like, let's say, let's take a project from Mehdi. So Mehdi has a project. Looks really nice. So much text, so many illustrations. So Mehdi has a project. And then there is README, there is some code, dbt code, orchestration code, some scripts, Docker Compose. Yeah. So you take all this code base and ask an LLM to analyze this and give and evaluate this according to the provided criteria. So for different courses, the criteria are different. So for the LLM course, there is one set of criteria. For the data engineering course, the other set of criteria. And if the project would be able to do it for all the courses, for whatever criteria you give, it would be a really awesome project. Okay, project idea from Jordan. I will create an LLM-powered analyzer for social media comment section that uses information theory techniques to detect implicit sentiment, highlight information-dense comment, and map discourse structure through social media network analysis. By analyzing conversation threads as dynamic information networks, I'm trying to get the system to identify valuable insights, ideological clusters, collision clashes. Okay, I am not really sure how to use it. To me, it sounds a bit vague and also not clear how to use it for the community. Is it a master project you're doing, or? Probably there is something to it. For me, I don't have enough context to understand how exactly to use it, but it could be a nice project. So this is something we can talk about in Slack. Because maybe this is something that could be also useful for the community. I just don't see how exactly. Okay, I think we don't have any other ideas. So thanks everyone for submitting the ideas. Some of the ideas are really great. Some of them maybe not the best, but I gave already some feedback. Yeah, and some of these ideas could be just your capstone project too, right? And another thing, maybe this is something worth mentioning. There was already a few times asked in Slack, what's the difference between a hackathon project and a capstone project? Perhaps this is something I can answer right now. So for the ZoomCamp project, for the course project, there is again this set of criteria that you need to satisfy. So you need to find a problem to solve, and then you solve using the what we learned in the course. So you follow more or less the structure we defined in the course. So then it's easier for others to evaluate it, right? So you do something like RAC or maybe similar, where you retrieve something. Maybe you do a simple agent that can decide whether to do retrieval or not. But something that follows the ideas in the course and that can satisfy the criteria. It should be a relatively small project, just for you to make sure you learn the materials from the course. The hackathon could be anything. For the hackathon, the project could be anything. So it doesn't have to satisfy any predefined. So the criteria we have for the projects, for the course projects, they're pretty strict, I would say. Here they are very loose. So here we have some criteria, but they are like impact, implementation, communication. So they are pretty loose, just to give you a direction, but it can be anything. Like it doesn't have to be, I don't know, you always do RAC. It can be really anything. It can be an agent, can be, I don't know, a Slack bot, it can be whatever. Uh, yeah, like, and we already took a look at the project submissions. Some of the ideas were really great. You see that they wouldn't fit the criteria set we have for the capstone projects. And here, if you're interested, there are some other project ideas that you can do. We can quickly review them. I think this study notes is something you submitted to. So this would be a good idea. Glossary. It's also similar to course study notes. I think these two projects can be like one project where you extract things from text, from videos, and so on. Smart search. What did Valeria mean by that? Yeah, I think this is just RAC. And no, to article generator. So here in this case, we have articles on our website. So for example, one of the latest articles were community demographics. So this is how an article looks like. So let's say we have a video, a podcast, or a podcast transcription, like that. Build a strong career in data. How do we turn this podcast transcript into an article that we can publish on the website? So that would be really nice. Yeah, I think I just described that. So I think this is more generic. Webinar and workshop articles. Again, not podcasts, but like we have workshops, we have webinars from them. Creating articles, written content would be quite nice. Then another idea is we have these FAQs, FAQ documents. But also a lot of things are discussed in Slack and not put. Why do people keep making it with pages? So we have this document with FAQ. But also a lot of things are discussed in Slack. So what could be interesting is reviewing what is discussed in Slack, reviewing this document, and automatically pull discussions from Slack to FAQ. So this could be quite an interesting one. Then we don't need to manually maintain this FAQ. We could just get the data from Slack. Project Creator, I think this was one of the suggestions too. Listicle Builder. create an app that curates and updates stamped list of courses, articles, or resources. I think this is just a specific case of an article generator. Again, I would need to ask Valeria what she had here. So Valeria is our content manager. She helped prepare this page. Okay. Yeah, but like it can be for you, this is just to get some ideas what could be possible to build. And I think by now you have some ideas what you can build, what you how to say, what could be a suitable project for this hackathon. Let me quickly check if there are questions in live chat, and then I'll go to Slido. What resources, for example, database we can get from the community? How can we team up? Okay, let me quickly answer that, and then I'll go to Slido. The first example, available resources. So here, this section, available resources. We have all the lectures with content, like all the videos you can, let's say here, not for this one yet, but let's say this one, we have a webinar. So here we have, how do I get it? Transcript. So here we have transcript. And it's also possible to get these transcripts programmatically, so you don't need to click. So then you get a transcript, and you can feed this transcript to an LLM, and then do whatever you want. Course notebooks and code examples. So you have all these repositories like LLM Zoom Camp repo, Data Engineering Zoom Camp repo, assignment materials and solutions, project examples and evaluations. So for project examples, I think I showed you where I don't see it here. Let me just show you. So we have all the past projects here. So we have a list of these projects. Community data, yeah, we have Slack, we have articles, we have like all the GitHub repos, project submissions. So there is a lot of data. Slack dump is actually we publish the dump. Let me see. We publish the dump every month. So here we see Slack dump, and every month we publish a fresh copy with all the conversations in Slack, or only public channels, of course. There is no way for us to get access to private conversations or private channels. So all the public channels are here. It's also possible to use the API of Slack if need be. But also, let's say you have some particular idea and you're not sure how to get the data for this. Let's just chat. Let's just have a conversation in Slack about that, and we can see how we can get this data, or if we can get this data. When it comes to teaming up, question from Victor. When it comes to teaming up, you just submit. Where do we have? There's a example. You can just submit this again in the hackathon channel, and then people can contact you, right? Or if you want to implement something, you can say, hey, I want to implement this project. Does anyone want to join me? And then people in the thread can reply, yes, I want to join you. These are my skills, and so on. And then this is how you form teams. Or maybe you have a friend and you just ask this friend, hey, do you want to make a project with me? So this is how you team up. It's also okay to do a project alone. You don't have to make it in a team. You have enough time to actually do something alone. If you prefer working alone, not in a team, it's also possible. Because I know some people need to have a team. For some people, they just would prefer, I don't know, locking themselves in their room and just hacking things. Okay. So let me see Slido. Should the hackathon project bring value to the learners of DataTalksClub community or any other learners? Should it be in the scope of only DataTalksClub? Of course, it should bring value to the learners or just community in general, not just necessarily if we talk about course participants, because this idea started as a competition for the course. So, and I think many of you will actually be or are taking a part in the course. So it can be course related. Maybe for you it's easier because you have the context. You are, let's say, the consumers. You would be potential users of these projects because let's say you take a course, but there are some things you would find. There are some things that are missing, and you would find them useful if they existed. So then you can just implement this yourself as a part of the project. But again, it does not have to be course related. It can be, related to our podcast, related to articles, related to what else we have, like workshops. So community in general, or maybe you can think to also have social media. Maybe there's something we can do there. Should it be in the scope of only DataTalksClub? Ideally, yes, because we want to build something useful for the community. If it's not, if it's something else, I think I already gave feedback when we talked. So if you want to work on something that is not in the scope of just DataTalksClub, if it's in the scope of other community, it's also useful. If it's not in the scope of any community, let's say we talked about, what is that? This thing, right? Yeah, I mean, you can still go for this. You will just not be able to probably win any prize, but then till you implement something, perhaps you find somebody else who also wants to work on this particular thing, even though it's not in the scope of the course. You still get to learn something new, get fun, perhaps find somebody else to work together with you. So it's still okay. So it doesn't have to be in the scope, but ideally should be. Can we work on a project without submitting yet? You probably mean hackathon project, or you mean LLM project, LLM, the course project. So for the course, actually in both cases, yes. You can start your capstone project if you want. You cannot actually submit it yet because the form is not open. You can also work on the hackathon project without letting anyone know about that and doing this later. I don't see why you would want to keep it to yourself and not tell anyone. Because probably you want to get some feedback, right? Even if you just want to work alone, you can still write in Slack saying, "Hey, I want to work on this project. This is my idea. I want to work alone because I prefer to work alone. But can you please give me some feedback about this idea?" Yeah. So, but you don't have to tell anyone if it's your thing. Like maybe at the end, you just submit it and it should be okay. Do we need to work on the front-end part of the project using framework like React, or just using Radio is good enough? Up to you. So, like, I don't know if you took part in any hackathon projects before. There, you have the freedom to do anything you want. So there is a problem that you want to solve, and you just do whatever it takes to solve this problem. Typically, the real hackathons, you have a very strict deadline. Let's say you work only, it starts on Friday, and on Monday you have to submit it. So then you hack over the weekend to do this. So you cut corners as much as possible. You use simple tools instead of difficult, more complex tools, like using Radio instead of React. Would be a good example here. But then again, here you have a bit more time, and let's say you implemented a simple prototype using Radio, but then you think, okay, I can actually do something more. Then you can do something more. So yeah, it doesn't have to be React. And also with Cursor, or I don't know if you use any vibe coding tools, it can be pretty straightforward to implement front end. Or another thing I like, I'll just give them free. I'll just give them free advertisement, but they're really cool. So this tool, Lovable.dev, builds nice React applications, and I really like the interface. The interface is good. It's way better than I can ever design. So my designs. So, for example, this is my design. So I implemented this before any LLM AI tools existed, or I don't know, this one. So I'm very bad at designing. But this Lovable is super good. Like the interfaces it creates, they're really nice. So yeah, what you can do is, for example, develop an interface with Lovable and then figure out how you connect it to your backend. Okay, so do we have, where is it? Other questions? How can I join the Hackathon Slack channel? I showed at the very beginning, if you rewind this video where I show Slack, I show how exactly to add this. So you'll find it if you rewatch the video. So no more questions? Okay, so let me see if I forgot to mention anything. So let me just go through this document again. But yeah, Hackathon channel is the place to go. So you join the Slack channel and you join the Hackathon channel, and you can discuss it. We can discuss ideas there. If you already want to implement a particular idea, you can say, okay, this is the thing I'm implementing. I want to find teammates. You can post this there, and people will start saying, yeah, I want to join. And then you, as a team lead of this team, you can decide with who you want to work. And I guess that's it. That's what we need to do right now. So first, think of ideas, finalize the ideas, start looking for team members, and also, if you just want to contribute to anything, you can just post your profile, and then perhaps if you're a team lead and you're looking for somebody to help you work on your idea, you can start approaching people that post their profiles. That's roughly the plan. So I don't know if we need any like catch-ups, or we will figure out how to exactly organize. I think every week on Monday, we will ping you in Slack to see what's your progress. So we want you to be active there. We want you to say, hey, like I wanted to participate. Let's say if you don't know what to do, but you want to participate, we want you to say that. I want to participate, but I haven't figured out what exactly. I also didn't find a team, and then we will be able to help you. So please don't be silent. We will figure out how exactly to do this. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, let me quickly check Slido. No questions. Okay, so that's it for this session. So I hope you like the idea of doing it as a hackathon. So for us, this is the first hackathon we host, so we will see how it goes. I hope it goes well. And let's say if we have 5 teams at the end, for me, it would already be successful. Let's see how it actually goes. Judging by the ideas we collected just in a few days, I think we should be able to see 5 projects at the end. And last but not least, I don't think I mentioned that if you are taking our course, you will also get course points for that, for working on these projects. Okay, that's it. So please write in the Slack channel, and see you soon. Bye, everyone. And have fun this summer hacking something useful. And yeah, I guess I said everything I wanted. So